But honestly, to be a black leader, I guess on the Penn football team means the world to me, especially playing the quarterback position. So I think this season, with everything going on, I'm definitely going to hold that kind of like a chip on the shoulder or whatever. But it's definitely going to be in the back of my mind that I really got to turn up since I am the only black starting quarterback.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Amateurs with Bryce and Jaren. Real stories, real situations, real talk. Today we're switching it up a little bit. I know we've been holding it down for the hoopers, the young hoopers out there. Today we got a football player, UPenn QB, Ryan Glover. How you feeling, man?
I feel great, man. I feel amazing. How y'all feeling?
Great, same here,
man. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Of course. So what's going on right now? I know that the Ivy League, y'all might not be playing in the fall. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, so right now everything is shut down on campus. There are no gyms open. We can't really practice on the field. So all the players right now, we're just training in like local gyms and finding fields nearby to train. So it's not the best right now.
That's tough. That's tough. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Exactly. You gotta work.
Mm-hmm.
Always gotta work.
For sure. Definitely. So well, go ahead. My bad, bro.
No, I was gonna ask, man, what you been doing, during the quarantine and everything.
Quarantine, I was chilling for most of it, just training and working out. Towards the end of the quarantine, I had an internship at Morgan Stanley in their wealth management division. So I was doing that, obviously just training all throughout and keeping football the focus.
Yeah. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know much about football, but I know that one thing that's universal in all sports, you can't just hop into the game, right? You gotta warm up, get a warm up in, right?
Not at all, man. Personally, as a quarterback, I can't not throw for a week and then just expect to come on the field and just throw a dime. You know what I'm saying?
Course,
I don't know how it is for basketball and shooting threes. I don't know. But is it like that too or not?
Nah? For me, if I miss 2 days, I feel like I can't even handle the ball. So I definitely feel you on that. I definitely
exactly.
Exactly, for sure.
Definitely. So being that that's the case, we have a segment on here called the 1 minute warm up. So basically, I have a list of 10 to 11 questions. You got a minute to answer them. We're just gonna reel them off at you, right?
All right, bet.
Got one skip. So here we go. We're gonna start on the first question.
All right.
Favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time is Step Brothers.
Top 3 artists on your pregame playlist?
I'm gonna go with Little Baby. I guess I'll go Migos and dang, I'm gonna say Brent Fayez.
I like that one. Favorite sneakers?
Jordans.
Favorite food?
Italian food, preferably chicken Alfredo.
What's one hidden talent that no one knows about?
I can sing a little bit. I know a little something. Yeah.
Okay. Which sport are you least talented in?
Ooh, I would probably say tennis.
Best rapper out right now?
Tennis. Best rapper, Drake. I'm gonna have to go with Drake.
Dream school growing up?
My dream school is UCLA.
And 3 things you can't live without?
I can't live without my phone, movies, and music.
Got you. All
Yeah.
right. No, but I like Brent Fayez a lot, man. That's one of my favorite artists to listen to right now.
Yeah. R&B. He on top right now in R&B for sure.
For sure.
I was gonna say, bro, how you listen to that before the game, man? I can't.
See me, I know it. So I do the same thing before games and practice. I'll listen to chill music maybe like an hour before practice or a game, and then like right before the game, then I could turn up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I just gotta ease my nerves a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's 2 guests in a row. Our last guest. What did he say he listened to before the game? The Weeknd?
The Weeknd.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was the Weeknd out there. Yeah.
And
Lawrence, I was thinking about the Weeknd.
Yeah. I got since high school. I've been having in high school. My freshman year, I listened to Watch the Throne before every game, and I started in the Thanksgiving tournament. Had one of the best tournaments ever. I was like, I bet I'm listening to this before every game. Right here now, I keep going back to that, but
that's a legendary album.
Oh, for sure.
Legendary.
Then you got the baby in there. You know, you from Atlanta, so of course you gotta.
You got to. He on top right now.
Yeah, for
Him,
sure.
him and Thug. He
Yeah.
on top.
For sure. I feel like Atlanta as a whole with the whole music scene, you know, y'all doing big things, bro.
We doing huge things, man. I tell people all the time. We on top right now.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's dive into it. You know, who
Sure.
put the ball in your hands, and then like where did your love, you know, for the game come from?
Yeah, for sure. So my dad, he was big in baseball. Throughout his high school career, he played in California. So I started baseball when I was around 3, and I started football around 5. I originally wanted to be a baseball player and go to the MLB, but I guess as time went on and I started to become better at football, I kind of focused on that a little bit more.
Okay.
That's kind of similar to me. I played baseball and basketball, and then once I started playing AAU and traveling, and I just started getting better in basketball, and it was more fun. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just stick with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I played baseball too, bro, but it came a point in time I had to make a choice. Like games and everything, you know, it was getting crazy. So I
That's
chose
rough.
basketball though, man.
I understand.
Yeah. But nah, so you know, during the recruitment process, you know, you were offered by, you know, a lot of Power 5 schools, but you chose to play in the Ivy League. So, you know, what fueled, you know, that decision?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the recruitment process was a little tough for me. Well, you know, it wasn't tough, but it came down to like 3 different schools. It was like Penn, Minnesota, and then Colorado State, which I was committed to before coming to Penn. But I think the main reason why I chose Penn was the academics. Being in the Wharton School of Business, I think, which is the #1 business school, I think just set that apart from the other 2 choices.
For sure.
Because I guess that was one of the main things that me and my family wanted, was to go to a really good academic school. And then second off, I really wanted to play. I didn't want to sit on the bench too long. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can go to the bigger school and maybe sit out for maybe a year or 2, or I can, you know, play a little bit my freshman year. And I felt like Penn was the best choice in terms of that.
For sure. I love that you know, were cognizant of the academic piece, because that's something for me I didn't really think much about, because like you know, as an athlete, you have to go where you offer, right?
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't even have like an Ivy recruiting me and things like that, but I wish that I would have, I don't know, at least tried to reach out to him or something. But you know, when I grad transferred, I definitely took that into consideration. So I definitely tell the younger athletes out there, for one, have your GPA and everything straight, of course.
Yep.
Then, you know, think about life after sports. Like, you can't play, as we all know, you can't play the rest of your life. So going to the Wharton School of Business, as he just said, the #1 business school in you know, the country, like that's huge. That's gonna help set them up for life after sports.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Definitely. But you know, admittedly, I admitted this earlier, I don't know much about football, but I am aware of the stigma that Black quarterbacks are given. You know, a lot of football fans, they think that Black quarterbacks are basically inept at being able to think the game, have to rely on athleticism and their ability to run, the whole nine. But in 2018, you know, you were the only Black Ivy League quarterback to start every game and had a good season. So were you even aware of that at the time? And looking back on that, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't realize I was the only Black quarterback on any Ivy League roster until after the season. Like, obviously traveling to all these different schools, you know, none of them had Black starting quarterbacks, but I had to do my research on if they had any Black quarterbacks on the roster, and I don't think they did at the time. But which is honestly crazy. But that's a whole nother story. I don't think the Ivy League has enough Black people in general. So it is what it is. But honestly, to be a Black leader, I guess on the Penn football team means the world to me, especially, you know, playing the quarterback position. So I think this season, with everything going on, I'm definitely going to hold that kind of like a chip on the shoulder or whatever. But it's definitely going to be in the back of my mind that I really got to turn up since I am the only Black starting quarterback.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And, you know, regardless of sport, we all have a learning curve coming into college sports. We've heard a lot of players, basketball players so far on the podcast, talk about like their first matchup, you know, not going so well. But what was your welcome to college moment?
Honestly, for me, I would say maybe the first few weeks of practice in general and the first few weeks of school. I know in the classroom, I didn't do too well my first semester at all. I think I had a lot of pride. I didn't get tutors or anything. I was like, you know, I can do this on my own. Like, let me just do it. And I shoot. I got D's, F's on tests and stuff like that. So I was like, let me get it together. And then in practice, I would say the main thing that I had to learn was you got to put in work off the field. mentally. So I didn't really watch too much film in high school growing up. But when you in college, you got to watch film on your own, by yourself to even practice well, to be at the top of the curve and to even play in the games on Saturday. So that was the biggest thing I had to learn.
Yeah. I was gonna say, me and Bryce were just talking about that, bro, because we basketball players, we watch film, but I was telling them, like, man, I think football, like, they live in the film room, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like the mechanics, the footwork, everything. So I'm like, yeah, I know they watching a lot of film, man.
Yeah, for sure. No, without a doubt.
And then all the plays and everything. I don't know how y'all do it.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. It's a lot.
Yeah. But you had sort of a comeback story, your junior year too, right? A senior transfers in, you have to adjust to a new role. Then the homecoming game comes around, and you have probably the biggest play of the game, subbing in and basically leading the offense to a touchdown and sparking your team to a win. So I mean, not everybody can do that. You know what I mean? So how were you able to not only adjust to that new role throughout the season, but excel in it?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. So, starting every game my sophomore year, then transitioning to a role player my junior year, definitely put a lot into perspective. Obviously, it's tough. Everybody wants to play every single snap or, basically every game. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the team. And you come back the next year and prove everybody wrong. So that's honestly, that's the mindset that I have about that season and about everything.
Yeah, I think that takes some maturity for sure. I know in my freshman year, I felt like I should have been starting or at least playing more. I played a nice amount of minutes for a freshman, but I felt like I should have been playing more. And instead of, I tell like younger players all the time, instead of like taking that out on the team, just stay focused on your role and making the most out of that for the time being and keep working and showing the coach. You know what I mean? Like you just said, proving them wrong when you get the chance to.
Oh, for sure. Control what you can control.
For sure.
Yeah.
You headed into your senior year, and you pretty much seen it all, bro, in terms of college football. So what advice do you have for the high school football players that's stepping into that freshman year, and then into their freshman year, and then what are some of the things they should be looking for in the program heading into college?
Yeah, for sure. I think one little token that somebody gave me that I've been using a lot lately is just be where your feet are. If you're in the classroom, focus on what the teacher is talking about. If you're in the film room, focus on what your coach is talking about, because he's going to expect you to grasp that information, and then he's going to expect that to translate on the field or the court.
Right.
So just focus, honestly, and really lock in when you get the chance. And then in terms of high school players going into college, I would definitely say don't really get caught up in the hype. And I think it's important in the recruitment process to really love who loves you. If you're really chasing after schools that's not really, interested in you, and maybe they'll offer you a walk-on spot or something like that, that may not be the best bet for you. Really love who loves you, because honestly, whether you see it all the time, John Morant, who went to a smaller school, Carson Wentz, who went to a smaller school, these guys are getting drafted from these smaller schools. So if you're really performing, they're going to come and find you.
Exactly.
So love who loves you at the end of the day.
That's real.
Right.
I love that.
Great advice.
One thing that we really want to continue to push on this podcast is the importance of student athletes building their personal brand, as early as possible, especially with the new name and image and likeness rules changing in the near future. And I saw that you released a day in the life video a couple months ago, and you also have your own website. So can you speak to the importance of capitalizing on that opportunity while you're still in college?
Yeah, man. I mean, brand is everything. Brand can be anything from, what you post on social media to honestly just the way you live your life, because somebody's always watching. So you really got to be cognizant of that. But the day in the life video that I posted this summer was actually my mother's idea. She just thought it'd be a cool thing to just show the dimensions that I have to my life. While I am very passionate about football, I care about finance. I care about social justice. I care about the arts. So it's just cool to show all that and highlight all that. But like I mentioned, it's important, that sports is a part of your identity, but it's only going to be a part of your identity for so long. So it's important to focus on, sports, obviously, but also show people that you have other interests and are well-versed in different things.
Right.
1,000%. We all have other things we're passionate about, other interests. Don't be scared to show that. I know that for me, especially when I was in high school, you know, I'm like, all right, like I know coaches are probably gonna check my Twitter, so I don't want to talk about this artist, you know, things like that. Like, of course, be mindful of the stuff you're putting out there, but you know, show the other things that you're passionate about, basically.
Right. Real talk, be yourself too. Yeah. Definitely be yourself.
1,000%.
And then, bro, you said some good stuff about, you know, your athletic influence and, you know, like your off the court influence. I think that's, you know, very important because one day, you know, you're gonna stop playing basketball, football, whatever sport it is. So you might as well start building your career now versus, you know, later. And then, you know, you're trying to figure things out. But I think that's a great point.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's one thing I hate that we do as athletes. You know what I mean? Like, we focus on this sport. I play this sport. That's it. And then if you don't go pro, it's like, dang, like,
what do I do?
That's all I know.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Sure. But, you know, along, you know, the same path, you know, I also saw that you've done a few internships over the past few summers. How are you able to balance that and, you know, of course, like, work out for football and take care of your obligations on the field?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Ivy League as a whole is a little different in terms of like what they require out of student athletes during the summer. So I guess kind of fortunately, I don't have to be on campus all summer. I can, you know, be at home and train and work and do it. I have more freedom during my summer. So I think that's definitely probably it's a benefit and a loss because there are some guys who go home and don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there are some guys who go home and really, you know, get to work.
Yeah.
So, usually I work half the summer. I work for like 6 weeks. And then the next 6 weeks, I'll go back to school and I'll take some classes and just train and focus on football. But obviously the summer, like I mentioned, I interned for Morgan Stanley. So that was a little tough because, you know, I had to work from 8 a.m. to probably 6 p.m. So I would have to go to physical therapy and like maybe train beforehand or after and still have time for my meetings and stuff like that. So it can get a little tough, but, you know, this is what we signed up for. So,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
for sure. It'll definitely be worth it.
Yep. But before we go, bro, in your opinion, you know, who is the best QB in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Tom Brady only because it's hard to debate 6 rings and his greatness.
That's true.
But on the same note, I will say the most talented right now, I think, is Patrick Mahomes, just because of his mix of like arm strength, you know, his accuracy and his athleticism. So I definitely think he will be the GOAT of the next generation.
Okay.
For sure.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I was gonna say finals. Who you got in the finals?
Man, you know how I got. I'm a LeBron James fan.
Yes, sir. I love it.
That's probably my favorite athlete in general. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Man. All right, man. I can't argue with that. I mean, LeBron definitely well-rounded. His off the court stuff. I mean, it's you know, it's like no other athlete. But I'm just not a LeBron fan though, man.
So who you a fan of then? If you don't like LeBron,
all right. So what kills me, man, is the Jordan LeBron debate. Like, all right, let's just let LeBron be great, man. I just don't like the comparison, man. I feel like they too great. So let them stand alone. But that's just me. I mean, and I think Mike is better, but that's just my opinion. But
I understand.
What about the current game, bro? Can you at least admit that he's the greatest player in the game right now?
Exactly.
I'll give him that. He is right now.
Baby steps.
I'm not putting him over Kobe though. I'm not putting him over Kobe, bro.
No comment. I done had so many arguments about this. We all have.
And I'm from Chicago, so it's even worse. They like, what? LeBron better than Mike? Yeah, man. But last question: do you have a quote or a mantra that you live by?
Yeah, I think one thing my dad really emphasizes all the time is nothing in life is free. And I guess that didn't really hit home until I really got to college and I saw like everything I wanted, I really got to work for it.
Yeah.
You know, there are really no real handouts. So like I said, you really just got to put your head down and grind and work if you want something in life. So
yeah, definitely. Love that one.
For sure.
Man, thank you for coming on. I enjoyed this episode. Drop some gems.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming too, bro. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. This was great. I love what y'all doing.
Appreciate it.